So in today's video, we're going to be talking about choosing a handgun, and obviously this is going to be from a woman's perspective to you women out there who are having a hard time deciding. So the first topic I want to talk to you about when choosing a handgun are the gun store experts, and this is something that you women especially need to be aware of because it's the person behind the counter who is just trying to sell you a handgun because that's what they need to sell for the day, not necessarily because it's what's best for you. A lot of times they don't even ask questions what you need this handgun for, and they're still going to try to push a gun on you that's probably not going to be best for you at the end of the day. So when going to choose a handgun, when going into a gun store, especially if you're by yourself, ladies, try to research a couple of guns. That way you know a little bit about it, and that way you can't be fooled by what they're trying to tell you. And if you have the chance, I recommend you shoot a couple of guns and know whether you like them or not, even if that's not what you're going to look for to purchase today. My next bit of advice for you ladies is to start small. And I don't mean start small with your handgun, I mean start small with your caliber. And it doesn't have to be a 9mm, it can be a 22 or something along those lines. But starting small with your caliber is going to make you probably want to shoot more in reality. You know, if I went out there and shot a 45 ACP for my first handgun, I may or may not want to pick up the next one and shoot a few rounds and go to the range the next time. And why I say don't start small with your handgun at first is because a lot of times smaller handguns can be a little snappy and nobody wants to feel uncomfortable when they're shooting a handgun. So starting with something that's a compact size or a full size is probably going to be a better option for you at the end of the day. I was fortunate enough to get a Glock 17 from Corey as a gift for my first handgun to train on, and I am so thankful that was the first handgun because training on a full-size handgun is much easier than training on something that's subcompact or super small. With a longer barrel you have a little less recoil, so it's not going to be as snappy and it's just a lot more comfortable. Even though it has a full-size grip and I have small hands for a female, it wasn't unbearable. It wasn't something that I couldn't control at all. But then going to something like my 26, although I love it, it was a little more snappy and maybe not as welcoming in the beginning. So training on a full-size handgun is going to help you in the end. Well, I mentioned the gun store experts earlier. There might be a few other experts in your life that are really trying to help you, but in reality they may be looking for what's best for them or what has worked for them. But being female versus male, there's a lot of differences that come into play, and what's best for them may not always be what's best for you. So just at the end of the day, make sure you take a look at all your options and don't just buy something because that's what somebody told you, like I said in the beginning. Last but not least, ladies, it's not all about the looks. Now, while I love accessories just as much as the next girl, your handgun doesn't have to look beautiful. It just needs to save your life and it needs to work for you. So that's something that you definitely need to consider when going into a gun shop to purchase your handgun for the first time. It doesn't necessarily have to be pink. While I love pink, guess what? They make pink holsters. So, get the gun that's gonna work for you and then put it in a nice, pretty holster. Glocks are dubbed to be one of the ugliest guns out there, but they're reliable and they work, and I trust my life with them. So just keep that in mind when you're going to a gun shop to look for guns, that it doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to work and save your life. So just to recap what I talked about, ladies, be aware of those gun store experts as well as some of those male experts in your life. Oftentimes they don't know what's best for you, so just keep that in mind when you're going to purchase a handgun. And also start small. Remember, start small with the caliber, not necessarily the handgun. And don't be concerned about the looks. Just be concerned about the functionality, the reliability, and what's going to save your life at the end of the day. If you guys have questions for me, please leave them in the comment box. I'll do my best to answer those for you, and also leave suggestions for future videos as well. If you guys like this video, as always, please click the like button, share, favorite, and subscribe.